Hi, my name is Cold Beer, and let's start with Cat Museum.
This is a surreal psychedelic point-and-click puzzle adventure like you have never seen before. If you like cats and original design and artwork aren't your enemies, then this game is probably for you. A museum sits in the middle of nowhere and is guarded by a mysterious cat. You unexpectedly become the manager of the museum and take on a job of repairing it. You must find hidden clues and solve the puzzles, all while dealing with this mischievous cat. The deeper you go, the closer you will get to the frightening answers. And there are so many questions, at least in your head. More than 90% of positive reviews, and this price is an irresistible combo. X4 Foundations. This is a space sandbox game where thousands of ships and stations trade, mine and produce. In this universe you can grow from being the lone pilot of a fighter ship to managing a vast empire, commanding your fleets and designing colossal space stations. The game is single player, so all this goodness is entirely your adventure. You'll encounter first-person action, boarding ships and visiting their bridges, and will have to put your filthy fingers on expansive strategy and management simulation. Here you will choose your own path at your own pace. You can start your journey from a number of different beginnings, and there's a number of different characters, each with their own role, set of relationships and different ships and technologies. No matter how you start, you are always free to develop in any other direction, although people are complaining about unskippable dialogues and bad controls.
Gamedec.
This is a single-player, non-combat cyberpunk RPG. You are a game detective who solves crimes inside virtual worlds by using your wits to gather information from your witnesses and suspects. Also get to the bottom of deceptive schemes, save lives and investigate the relationships between virtual worlds and their inhabitants. The game continually adapts to your choices and never judges, just like your dog does. Also, it sounds a bit like Disco Elysium, and that's a great thing. Although keep in mind that here you will not find any battles and no fighting is available. Pick it up only if you like to read and carefully analyze sentences in dialogues. Achilles, Legends Untold. Here you will take control of a man with a really weak heel but with very strong everything else. The journey will take you to many different corners of mythological lands, where you will obtain powerful artifacts that will aid you in your quest. The game has a cool AI system that introduces innovative enemy behavior. Opponents have unscripted interactions with each other and are capable of coordinated attacks. Developers are also saying that sometimes your enemies are even taking advantage of their surroundings. Well, honestly, that should be mandatory in every modern game. If your adversary is ignoring surroundings, that is so old school. I think even pigs in Duke Nukem 3D could hide behind the walls, and the game was released in the past millennium. So Achilles Legends Untold is Souls-like, but not as hard as actual Souls games. Various Diablo-like action RPG lovers could play it as well. But of course, don't expect Diablo-like battles. Here every battle is important. Well, at least they are made this way. If you played, for example, Sands of Aura, you may realize what I have in mind. It is a mix of genres, but I think it's really worth your attention. Siege Survival, Gloria Victis. Your country is invaded and your city is under a brutal siege. A small group of civilians are trapped in the only remaining stronghold. They are the last source of hope for the defending troops hanging on for their life. You might not be fighting the invaders yourself, but the fate of the city lies in your hands. You know, you are the manager. Without you, everything will succumb to chaos. You need better weapons, a roof over your head, hot food, and all the other things for, existing. And the only way you'll get these is if you and your team craft them. But resources are limited and you'll need to sustain both soldiers and civilians. Maintaining this balance is not the job for the faint-hearted, believe you me. So you will have to find ways to preserve your potato salad, develop your infrastructure and use your supplies more efficiently. Main story will only take around 8 hours to beat, but if you want to unlock all the achievements, it will take you around 10 times more. People are saying that the game reminds them of the famous This War of Mine, and that is never a bad thing.
Assetto Corsa.
This is a racing simulator with a very affordable price. If you like realism more than arcade fun, this may be your spoon of potato salad. For example, the circuits have been developed using laser scan technology in order to guarantee the highest level of accuracy possible in reproducing real-world racing environments. And despite the game being a bit on the older side, its licensing agreements somehow still work, not like in some other games, if you know what I'm talking about. So here you can drive BMW, Ferrari, Audi, Lamborghini, Mercedes, Lotus Berlusconi, Saladini and many other famous cars. Well, maybe not the latter, but hey, still a lot. The game surprised me with the vast amount of controls it supports. For example, you can play it either with a steering wheel or with a keyboard and everything in between. The range is truly here. Anyway, if you like racing sims, this is a must. And if you have no idea what racing sim is, for this price you can just try. Maybe it's for you. Citizen Sleeper. This is a serious game for serious people and it has above 90% of positive reviews, meaning that this is a great game no matter how you look at it. Citizen Sleeper is a narrative RPG which takes you on Erlin's Eye, a ruined space station that is home to thousands of people trying to survive on the edges of an interstellar capitalist society. You are a sleeper, a digitized human consciousness in an artificial body, owned by a corporation that wants you back. So literally, someone owns your ass and the rest of you. And amongst the unfamiliar and colorful inhabitants of the Eye, you need to build friendships, earn your keep, and navigate the factions of this strange metropolis if you hope to survive. Game is text-based, with multiple endings, beautiful drawings, and sci-fi cyberpunk atmosphere. It's like a great book where you can actually tell the hero what he must do. Lonely Mountains Downhill. Sometimes all these story-heavy games can wear you down, so titles like Lonely Mountains can be really refreshing for your brain. Although be careful, this game will change your opinion about bikes as a safe and family-friendly transport vehicle. You will witness many dumb ways to die and maybe even think about purchasing a helmet for your own calm weekend rides. So here you'll take on a thrilling ride down an unspoiled mountain landscape, make your way across thick forests, narrow trails and wild rivers, race, jump, slide and try not to crash, all the way from the peak to the valley. You will often fail, but the more you train, the better you become. If you are in doubt, you can try the game demo for free. Deep Rock Galactic. This is a 1 to 4 players first-person shooter featuring badass space dwarfs and 100% destructible environments. Here you can play alone or work together with other players as a team to dig, explore and fight your way through a massive cave system filled with hordes of deadly enemies and valuable resources. Pick some powerful guns like flamethrowers, Gatling guns, portable platform launchers, and show those puny aliens who's the boss. Dwarfs may be small, but they are really powerful. We in Lithuania have a saying,
Neugis or smugis.
Meaning not the size, but the punch is what really matters. And your punch is really, you know, probably weak in real world, but really impactful for the alien population in these dangerous caves. People on Steam are talking that there is no reason not to play this game, and I have to agree. Show those monsters the true meaning of extinction.
Rock and stone, baby.
Core Keeper. Drawn to a mysterious relic, you are an explorer who awakens in an ancient cavern of creatures, resources and trinkets. Here you will mine relics and resources to build your base, craft new equipment, survive and power up the core. Of course, you will need to defeat giant monsters, discover hidden secrets, farm crops, cook new recipes and explore a procedurally generated underground world in a mining sandbox adventure for 1 to 8 players. And I can for sure say that this is a good game. On Steam you will find above 90% positive reviews left by tens of thousands of players who bought the game. Also, I must mention that Core Keeper is way more fun in multiplayer mode, so grab your imaginary friend and dive into adventures together. Dead Space. Of course, I'm speaking about the recent remaster of the game, which is a fantastic game just like the original Dead Space, but I can almost assure you that if you played it a long time ago, you won't spot any difference. I completed the first game more than 10 years ago, and when I watched someone play the remastered version, honestly, I couldn't see anything new. Yeah, the graphics now are shiny and beautiful, but it is exactly how I remember the original version. So the remake is a great game on 2 occasions. First, if you want to replay the game, and not because there is a remaster available, but because of the game itself. And second, if you never played it, in that case I can assure you this is one of the best horror shooter games I ever played. Well, it's more like a thriller with a bunch of jump scares, but the atmosphere is amazing. The surroundings of the space station are made incredibly well and the necromorphs are really creepy. Be sure that your mental balls are strong and hairy. 10 cold beers out of 10. Besiege. This is a physics-based building game in which you construct medieval siege engines and lay waste to immense fortresses and peaceful villages. Build a machine which can crush windmills, wipe out battalions of brave soldiers and transport valuable resources, defending your creation against cannons, archers and everything else. Game looks beautiful, the art style is 10 cold beers out of 10. And the same is difficulty, at least at the beginning, because my machines did more harm to themselves than to their surroundings. Anyway, I promise you that after a bit of practice you will build your incredible mechanical potato of terror and destroy some peaceful castles. The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing Final Cut. This is definitely one of the most known action RPGs out there. This version of the game is a collection of 3 standalone episodes told as one continuous story, with 6 playable classes and a new endgame mode with a huge variety of open missions. People on Steam are saying that this is a very addictive game. Not as addictive as Potato Salad, but there is a huge chance that you will have a lot of great time, although it has some minor problems, lame targeting system and a bit shallow character builds. Also, you may encounter some bugs and glitches along the way as well. But anyway, this game is really entertaining and also huge. The campaign is offering over 50 hours of gameplay. Also, if you are in doubt, you can download a free demo version at first and try it out. King Arthur: Knight's Tale. This is a cool hybrid between turn-based games like XCOM and traditional character-centric CRPGs. You'll find diverse battle maps where you will have to position yourself to avoid shield walls and flank your enemies. Also use covers against archers, make use of the terrain, hide in the foliage, and surprise your enemies with your endless wisdom. Knight's Tale is a modern retelling of a classic story with a heavy touch of dark fantasy tropes, a twist on the traditional tales of chivalry, and a bearded wizard with a friendly smile. You will encounter nothing like that here. Knight's Tale is grimdark and really refreshing on your eyes, tired from all these colorful games nowadays. Although keep in mind that all your characters are expendable and if they die they will stay dead forever, meaning that the game is leaning to the hardcore and may not be very easy for you. Medieval Dynasty. Here you take on a role of a young man who has fled from war and wants to take his fate in his own hands. From being alone, inexperienced and poor, he will develop into a master of many skills, a leader of community and the founder of a prosperous dynasty. Dynasty which is meant to last and prosper for generations to come. So you can create a tiny medieval North Korea for yourself and thrive, while your friends eat grass. You will defend against wild animals, hunt for food, gather resources, craft equipment, build yourself a house and become a founder of a whole village. Tough winters and unexpected events will challenge your skills and dexterity as you strive to build your own legacy. One of the coolest things for me here is the entire year cycle, with 4 seasons and realistic wildlife that really helps with the immersion. Dying Light Definitive Edition. This is a great deal which includes the full game and a huge expansion with a new story, vast original map and a customizable buggy to drive. Also 2 additional game modes, 2 additional quarantine zones, exclusive weapons and outfits. The game has an overwhelmingly positive review score on Steam and that makes at least 95% of all players happy with their purchase. Anyway, here you'll have to survive in a city ravaged by, obviously, zombie virus and freely roam around basking in its unique atmosphere. You will also use parkour skills to jump or climb buildings and reach remote areas. But the most dramatic shift in the world comes at the sundown, as you change from a hunter to a hunted. That is a terrifying experience and you would never leave the safe zone at night, but the best quests and rewards await you only when the darkness falls. Also, if you are used to taking free games from the Epic Store, you may already have it, so check your library. Lost in Random. This is a gothic fairy tale inspired action adventure where every citizen's fate is determined by a roll of the dice. That may sound as a very random thing, and believe you me, it is, but around 90% of positive reviews are here for a reason. So you will step into a beautiful and haunted wonderland where you must venture through the 6 twisted realms of random, each with its own maddening set of rules. Help its unpredictable inhabitants, save your sister, well, or mine, I don't mind, and discover a twisted tale in the process. Basically, if you enjoy Tim Burton's creations, this game may be a real spoon of potato salad for you, because it definitely draws inspiration from Burton's works. The game has an interesting story with motivational moments you can relate to, nice humor but a bit clunky combat, and it's really short. Also, people on Steam are warning players that if you complete a chapter, you can't go back to it ever again. So if you are hunting for achievements, do it in the first try. Call of Juarez Gunslinger. This one and other games of the franchise are probably the most popular and well-known first-person shooters set in a Wild West. Here you will play as the best gunslinger West ever saw and blur the lines between man and myth. This adventure made of memorable encounters will unveil the untold truth behind some of the greatest legends of the Old West. And I'm talking about Billy the Kid, Pat Garrett, Jesse James and Dick Penison. Oh come on, who wrote this?
You did.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, with a gun holster tied to your leg, become a ruthless bounty hunter on a journey made of all-out gun battles. Master the art of blasting pistols, shooting rifles, and dodging bullets.
Metaphorically, right?
No, it's exactly like in The Matrix. You can slow time and actually dodge bullets. How cool is that? Also, I really like the narration part of the game. It is trying to hold your attention even when nothing is happening. Let's say you climb the ladder, but at the same time you are listening to the story, and that is really cool. People are comparing the style with an action RPG game Bastion, which also has the narration implemented. This is a really great invention, and I wish that more games had something like that. Well, with the ability to turn it off, of course. The Saboteur. A bit older game, but worthy of your attention without a doubt. The plot is set in an open-world Paris. You can climb the Eiffel Tower, snipe from Notre Dame Cathedral, and brawl on the Champs-Élysées as you sabotage your enemies. You will have to fight, climb, and prowl through the dark alleys, rooftops, burlesque houses, and seedy streets. Motivated by retribution and armed with tactics of sabotage, you will blow up zeppelins, derail trains, implode bridges, destroy armored tanks, and level enemy facilities in the name of vengeance in Nazi-occupied Europe. Here, being the Saboteur is all about attacking while staying unnoticed. You will get your mission intel at underground clubs and cabarets, eliminate your adversaries with stealth attacks, disguise, distractions, and explosives. Also master a variety of weapons, automobiles, and skills to sabotage enemy operations. It's a fantastic game, absolute cult classic, and a must-play for every action fan. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. This is a massive, challenging action RPG that drops you into a vast open world full of interesting characters and creatures. The game is made by Capcom, a Japanese company, but the whole setting of Dragon's Dogma is European. So you may think maybe because of that this game features some ridiculous moments, but Capcom was really serious about the job. They went all around Europe to actually get a lot of information, especially for the backgrounds and environments in the Dragon's Dogma. They looked at architecture and buildings and things of that nature, and also just natural environments as well. Also took many pictures and tried to recreate those as closely as possible. Well, a bunch of Japanese people in Europe taking pictures? Who could have thought? Anyway, developers actually did a lot of research in Europe that helped to recreate stuff in game, and that level of dedication is truly admirable. Dragon's Dogma has more strategy and more dynamic fights than usual action RPG games. You know, you can climb monsters here, and that is super cool. Also, it's a tougher game in general, but if you like to explore the open world and love fantasy games, you can't ignore it. Gamers are talking that this is an underrated gem and is a must-play for every open-world RPG fan. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 Deluxe Edition. This is a third-person shooter where you will be able to play not only as a plant, as usual, but as a zombie as well. Here you'll find around 100 different playable character variants. You will engage in up to 24-player online battles in different modes, and when I say that, I mean it. The game was released a few years ago, but there are around 1,000 players online, on a good day, so the game is alive and kicking. Not like zombies in this game, they are for sure long dead, although they can kick, probably. Maybe. Anyway, there are also 4-player co-op and even solo options available. You won't find any campaign here, however you can play solo against AI in any game mode if you want. Game has 12 maps and around 90% positive reviews. What's not to like? Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. This is one of my favorite games I have ever played. Yeah, I am a fan of Star Wars, and my whole childhood I dreamed of becoming a Sith, so I could teach people I don't like a lesson of. From all Souls-like games, Fallen Order had the most satisfying combat I've seen since the times of the third Witcher, and I probably liked it so much because it reminded me of those sword dances I did as a Geralt. The game started slow, but the more I played, the more powerful I got. You know, skills like running on walls or throwing spinning lightsaber into a bunch of puny enemies are not given to you all at once. At the beginning you suck as a Jedi, even some random rat can kill you if you are not careful enough. So I died a lot, but later I became a real combat god because I discovered a story mode difficulty. Yeah, this is a Souls-like game even noobs like me can enjoy. No Man's Sky. This is an alive project. Updates are constant, the game is getting better and better every year. And by saying constant updates, I'm not kidding. I have noticed that they update the game every month, or even more often. Here every star is the light of an actual distant sun, each orbited by planets filled with life, and you can go to any of them. The game is actually enormous. Of course, that size is only available because of procedural generation. So the real question is your mama procedurally generated?
Oh, come on, how dare you?
I'm sorry, no I'm not. So here you fly from deep space to planetary surfaces without loading screens. In this infinite universe you will discover places and creatures that no other players have seen before, and perhaps never will again. So it is tailored for those who want to go where no human boldly went before, or for those who want to find the best place in a galaxy, which is called Beristan, everyone knows that. Also keep in mind that every other player lives in the same galaxy and you can choose to share your discoveries with them on a map. That is cool. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Almost 90% of positive reviews, left by tens of thousands of players, is definitely proof that the game is done right, and I can confirm that. I played the game for several hours and I had a lot of fun, although I had to stop playing because I got the game on my PlayStation and shooting with the gamepad was a real pain for me. I died way too often for my comfort zone, you know. Anyway, now I'm thinking of getting it on PC. The price is really nice, all I need is time. So this edition sold on Steam is called Celebration Edition, and along with the base game it includes all past and future updates and many other cosmetic things you don't really care to hear about if you never play the game. So here up to 40 players fight in massive battles, pilot huge array of vehicles, and can even participate in space combat. Also, one thing that is really uncommon for any game released by Electronic Arts is the ability to train offline. You can do that, and only with your new knowledge you can start, you know, dying in real-time multiplayer battles. Yeah dude, don't expect to be thrown into combat with noobs like you. Everyone will have more experience than you do, but you have to collect your strength and show them who's the boss.
Probably not you.
Blacky Skylands. This is a steampunk experience that combines elements of open world, sandbox, top-down shooter and action-adventure games. Here you'll become a skilled and valiant young sky marshal, fighting to protect your people from the invading bad guys. You will take command of your own airship and embark on a journey through a world of boundless skies. Gather resources to craft powerful weapons, upgrade your ship to new heights, unearth ancient secrets and engage in beautiful battles. When I played the alpha or demo version of this game a few years ago, I was really impressed by the style of the game. It surely draws inspiration from Hayao Miyazaki and his creations. Also, do yourself a favor and prepare for yourself some Abney Park, Steam Powered Giraffe and other soundtracks from steampunk bands. This way you can truly elevate your experience with Blacky Skylands, that's for sure. Sker Ritual. So if you know the first part, it's nothing like that. Made of Sker was a stealth horror game, and Sker Ritual is actually quite the opposite. Here you will dive into the first-person shooting action like never before. Well, honestly, like many times before, but you know, it's nice. To shoot massive hordes of creepy stuff is always nice. So this is obviously an intense, round-based zombie shooter. You can play it alone or up to 4 players online, and face relentless waves of enemies while at the same time solving mysterious missions, uncovering Easter eggs, upgrading steampunk weapons, and obtaining a vast network of Celtic gods' powers. Game has a very positive review score on Steam, and people who play the game in the comments are often saying that Sker Ritual was above the expectations. It is a very solid game to just have tons of fun. Ghostbusters, the video game remastered. Originally the game was released in 2009, but it was remastered in 2090s, and now it's shining like a modern game it should be. More than 90% of positive review scores can confirm that with ease. Here you will join the Ghostbusters team, fight monsters, capture ghosts, search for artifacts and have a blast destroying almost everything around you. The single-player campaign will put you through a story full of mystery and adventure. This authentic experience features the voices of Bill Murray and other original actors. Even the story is written by the writers of original films. This is the real deal. So who you gonna call?
Yo mama.
Journey to the Savage Planet. As the newest recruit of Kindred Aerospace, the fourth best interstellar space exploration company, your job is to find out if this planet is suitable for humans. Well, honestly, probably not. Not at all, but you don't know that yet, and yet, here you are. You can play it alone or with a friend. Of course, you probably don't have one, so alone it is. This game may look like it's made for kids, but it's not. It has references of alien drugs and some more adult themes I don't think I can talk about if I want to stay monetized. But people are saying that the game has really great humor, awesome design of animals and plants, and really fun tools to use. Although some of the players are complaining that the game gave them headaches, like real headaches, probably from oversaturated colors and lots of movement, so keep that in mind if you're a bit more sensitive person. The Bloodline. This is an open-world fantasy action RPG where you will take on a role of a descendant of a magical lineage. You are gifted the power of foresight by an ancient god to protect the world from evil. Here the adventure is yours. You will follow quest lines to help the people or roam the world freely at your own pace, allowing organic opportunities or organic deaths to arise. You will reform bonds between kingdoms, construct a village, and prepare the world for the return of evil stuff. Just like in the Elder Scrolls games, here you will explore the world, join various guilds, hunt magical creatures, or become a bard at the local tavern. The game doesn't hold your hand or penis, you can enjoy and experience it in any way you desire.
And now thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.